I got spoilers. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Spoilers. You've been warned. This is my Captain America Civil War spoiler review. The movie opens up in a Hydra base in the Arctic, and then you've got unfrozen caveman soldier coming out of the deep freeze. My name is Freeze. Learn it well, for it will be the chilling sound of your doom. So then Bucky is sent on a mission in 1991 to go kill somebody. We don't know who, until later we find out it's Stark's parents. But we don't know that yet. Spoilers. Cue opening credits. Then you got the crazy Crossbones battle with Captain America and Scarlet Witch and Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. You get to see Falcon show off his new tech toys. Falcon is way cooler than he ever was in any movie. He's got moves, he's got jokes, he's got gadgets. He can use his wings as offensive and defensive. He pretty much kicks ass. And like I said in my other review, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow is super formidable. She is kicking ass all over the place. A couple cool moments where Captain America falls down like an elevator shaft and bounces off the walls. And he also falls down a fire escape and hits his head and bounces and deflects. And he's just kind of like, ooh, that's gonna hurt in the morning. The fight sequences in this movie are absolutely fantastic and definitely brutal. Then you've got Secretary of State Ross Stash talking about the Sokovia Accords because a Scarlet Witch tried to contain the explosion of Crossbones blowing himself up. She threw him in the air and a bunch of innocent bystanders were killed. And it was like, well, yeah, you guys can't just keep destroying cities without having any collateral damage. So Secretary of State Ross Stash brings in the Sokovia Accords and says, you guys need to follow these rules. And he has like a real dramatic speech. He's like, do you remember New York? Do you remember Sokovia? Do you remember Mama? Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember the time when we first met? I think that was something else. I was thinking of something else. Michael Jackson wasn't in this movie, was he? I'm pretty sure he was. And then you had the crazy flashback sequence, which I thought was pretty cool. You see young Tony Stark talking to his parents. The last time he spoke to his parents ever. You've got the young Tony Stark, not quite out of the uncanny valley with all the CG on his face, making him look young. He's kind of like liquidy face. I was like, this is cool, and I get the flashback, and it's acted well. As the scene progressed, and you saw that it was just a holographic projection, basically addressing the fact that, hey, everybody, we're not out of the uncanny valley yet. So we're not even going to pretend that this is real. That I thought was pretty cool. I thought that was definitely a nice way of storytelling and also addressing the fact that we haven't quite nailed that yet, technologically speaking. Again, we tap into Tony Stark's guilt of war and guilt of destruction, and his guilt really hasn't yielded anything great. His guilt yielded Ultron, if we remember the last movie. Tony Stark's guilt is his motivation. There's a mother, she hands him a picture of her son who was killed in Sokovia. You know, that's how you get to Tony. Tony's a softie. We're introduced to Prince T'Challa and his father T'Chaka. Hala, and the Black Panther's origin is pretty cool. It's real quick. It's emotional. We see T'Challa's father was killed at the UN, and he's like, Bucky's responsible for this. I'll kill him myself. The King of Wakanda is a badass because he's all, yeah, I'm gonna go kill the greatest assassin ever. I'll be right back. Unfrozen caveman soldier and Captain America meet. That sequence was pretty cool. When Bucky Barnes takes the table and just goes, and Bucky gets away and he punches through the floor. He's left-handed. Punches through the floor, gets his backpack and goes running. And then, of course, Black Panther shows up for the first time. It was a stupendous scene. The Winter Soldier is running away from the Black Panther, and they're just running faster than the cars. They're just like this, and the cars are just, no need for a car chase here. And then Bucky does the coolest, most badass thing I think I've ever seen. There's some really cool motorcycle stunts in these Captain America movies, but when that motorcycle's coming toward Bucky, he just grabs the handlebars and turns around and then just lands the motorcycle and then drives away on it. That was awesome. That was a very comparable move in Age of Ultron when Captain America took his motorcycle and just threw it at the dudes. The fight scenes were the most brutal and the most intense and the most quick-paced. It gave it that real Saving Private Ryan look, where it's just intense action in your face. Black Panther is really intense. He's kind of humorless, but I mean, he's cool, he's intense, but he doesn't joke much. Although there was one moment where Black Panther had a joke. His female bodyguard walks up to Black Widow and says, "Move or you will be moved," to Black Widow, which is hilarious, because it's like, Black Widow will kick your ass, sorry. But T'Challa comes up and he says, "As entertaining as that would be." I thought that was funny, but it took me a minute to realize he was joking. because he wasn't a very funny dude. Still not totally sold on Scarlet Witch. I guess I'm not the biggest fan of Elizabeth Olsen. She's just not selling her character on me. It's a cool character, and she's got some neat powers. I'm just like, she must just have a really good agent and some really highly successful older sisters. That's just my guess. Zemo. Was it Zemo? Was it Zebo? I liked him better in Earth Girls Are Easy.
Zebo.
Is that your name? Zebo?
Oh, that was Zebo. Remember that movie? Jeff Goldblum. Zemo was a clear alcoholic beverage in the 90s. Oh, that was Zima. Oh. Well, Zemo, he's in this movie. I mean, he was successful at turning all of the Avengers on each other. He had all the other Winter Soldiers in deep freeze, but then he just killed them all. I thought the epic last battle, the final battle of the movie, was going to be the Avengers reuniting and then fighting the remaining Winter Soldiers, but that didn't happen. I guess it was too predictable. I like that Black Panther was able to scratch Captain America's shield because his suit and his claws are made of vibranium, and Captain America's shield is made of vibranium, and there's 5 scratches on Captain America's shield. This is just a random speculation, but I'm wondering if those 5 scratches represent each movie that Captain America's been in, because this makes number 5. I don't know. Maybe ask the Russo brothers, the directors of the movie. Spider-Man. The introduction of Spider-Man was amazing. We're in Queens, Peter Parker comes home, and of course, there's Tony Stark, Iron Man himself, sitting on the couch with his Aunt May, just chilling, and then they have that really funny interaction, because Peter Parker is smart enough to pick up on the fact that, this is weird, Tony Stark is here, and he's talking to me in some kind of weird code. Remember that call we had? And he's like, yes, I remember that call about the thing. Tony Stark's on to Spider-Man, as he would be, because Tony Stark is kind of leading the charge of having the Sokovia Accords put in place. He is going to probably know about the whereabouts of all of the enhanced individuals that are on the Earth. Tom Holland just knocks it out of the park. He is fantastic. He is such a great Peter Parker, and just the fact that he's so smart, and Tony Stark is impressed with that, and he wants to give him some money, and he's like, listen, we're going to go to Germany, we're going to give you a new suit, it's going to be awesome, you need an upgrade. Tony Stark's the guy to give you that, and he's like, I can't leave, and he's like, well, why not? And he says, I got homework. And that is Peter Parker, my friends. He nailed it. Love the scene when Ant-Man comes rolling out of that van, and he's on the run, and they're just like, listen, if you come with us, you're going to be a wanted man. He's like, what else is new? Loved it. Paul Rudd, hilarious. And of course, the airport scene when they all just start charging at each other, and at this point we know why everybody's chosen the side that they're on. I mean, Vision earlier, he's like, look, this is for the greater good. He's always deep and philosophical about his choices, and with karate they kick each other's asses. Loved the fact that Ant-Man turned into Giant Ant-Man. That was cool. He says, I only did this once before, and I was like, oh no, he's gonna go giant. This is gonna be awesome. There are so many characters in this movie, and then I was like, oh yeah, Ant-Man can get huge, so he blows up and turns into Giant Man. And then of course Spider-Man, being the comic relief on the opposing team, is kind of like, hey guys, remember that old movie, The Empire Strikes Back, with the big walker things, and then he just takes down Ant-Man by wrapping around his legs and knocking him over. And that is a great line where Iron Man's like, if anybody on our side has a amazing ability that they want to reveal now, now's the time. I'm pretty convinced that RDJ probably has final say over whatever comes out of his mouth in these movies. He probably just rewrites his entire script just so that it's as awesome as it can possibly be. Vision goes to shoot at Falcon, and Falcon dodges it and hits the arc reactor in War Machine's chest, and then Rhodey comes smashing down to the ground. That was like, ugh, that was heartbreaking. Just, you feel the impact of that. Although, why didn't he have any like parachutes or something? I think something that would have helped that scene is maybe a parachute deployed, but it was like kind of spinning out of control and sort of slowed the fall a little bit, but still the impact could still be strong. Let me give you a suggestion, Tony Stark. Maybe a parachute. Let me just draw that in there. Then we get to kind of the meat of the matter, and I really do understand Captain America's motivation. Captain America really wants to protect his friend, his buddy. I mean, we've seen Bucky, that was his best friend, Bucky, and he both went into World War II together. They were part of the same team back then. He found that Bucky was still alive in the Winter Soldier, and now he wants to protect his best friend because Captain America is a good pal. He will stick up for you, even if you did kill his friend's parents. I think the Russo brothers did a great job in setting up why Captain America is so loyal to his friend Bucky, because they have the funeral for Agent Carter. Agent Carter was Captain America's girlfriend back in the 40s, and she died. She passed away. So she was his only connection to the past. But now his only connection, his only thing that he has remaining from his world is Bucky, and Bucky was his best friend. wants to protect his friend because he knows that his friend was brainwashed. I thought it was pretty Manchurian Candidate, really fantastic the way they had the sequence of words, applesauce, tennis racket, coffee cup, like that was pretty cool. Salad dressing, Rubik's Cube, John Tesh, and then the most ultimate reaction video of reaction videos when Tony Stark is watching the video of the Winter Soldier killing his parents. And that got to me. That was like, oh no, it just got real up in here. Tony Stark saw red and was like, you killed my parents. I'm going to end you. They just go on that epic fight scene between Iron Man, Winter Soldier, and Captain America, and the iconic shot of Iron Man blasting Captain America's shield, and they're just like right up against each other. Iron Man blasts Winter Soldier's arm right off. Then Captain America smashes his shield into the arc reactor of Iron Man's chest, pulls the shield out, and starts walking away. Tony Stark's like, hey man, my father made that shield. You're not worthy of that shield. Captain America just chucks it. He's like, bros before heroes. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Another note I have about that final fight sequence between Captain America, Iron Man, and the Winter Soldier is that there's an alternate take in the trailer. When Captain America says to Iron Man, he's my friend, Iron Man, in the trailer, says this. So was I. Which seemed very defeated, which seemed very heartbroken. But in the movie, they use an alternate take. When Captain America says, but he's my friend, Iron Man says, so was I, and then he just goes at him and then just kicks his ass. It's not like it is in the trailer, and I think that's actually brilliant marketing because it took me off guard when I was in the movie theater because I was expecting Tony to get defeated in that moment. The way he says, so was I, in the trailer seems as though it could be he feels regretful that now I have to destroy you, or he is realizing his fate and is about to be destroyed. That was always how I took that moment. I was like, this could go either way. And in the movie, Iron Man says it way more matter of fact. Overall, I really, really like this movie. It's up there with Captain America, Winter Soldier. It's up there with the Avengers. So let's open up the conversation. Let me know your favorite part of this movie, and we'll just have a big gold spoiler discussion down in the comments. Give this video a like and a share, and if you want to check out more, click here or check that info card. To find out more information on how to help wounded war vets, click the icon on my face at the end of this video, or look for a link in the description below. I'm Aristotle Full Throttle, and I'll see you later. Cat scratch, salami, cartoon, earmuffs, lollipop, Lou Bega. Future ahead of him. He's gonna have stardom. There's no possible way he is gonna grow up well adjusted. Sorry, Disney sacrifices a kid like every 5 years for their profits. Amazing stand-up